Hello and welcome to the online campus. This is the orientation part 1 for geometry for summer 2018. My name is Mary Rubin and I will be walking you through this orientation. If at any time I become too quick for you, if you can't follow what's going on, you can always rewind, go back and listen again. I hope to make this nice and brief. So this is me. I work at Centerville High School. I teach calculus and honors pre-calculus. I've been with the online campus for over 13 years. So let's just talk about the files and some technology requirements, and we'll get into the course. 3 things you should have are the syllabus, the assignment calendar, and the important dates calendar. They're also on Blackboard. I'll show you what they look like. So your syllabus looks like this. This is only the first part of the syllabus. It just gives you what is the course about, what are the units that we're going to be doing, what textbook are you going to be using, just some do's and don'ts about the class and how it runs. The assignment calendar, this is geared mostly towards students, but parents, you'll also find this helpful. It tells you day by day, breaks down the units and what to do. All of these assignments are also on Blackboard, so those are going to pop up every day, but this gives you an idea of the pacing. So notice Unit 1 is tomorrow. So that means on the 27th, July 27th, you're going to be doing all of Unit 1. 28th, you're doing all of Unit 2. The 29th, you're doing all of Unit 3. So think about that. Usually this takes about a week or two. Each one of these, you are doing a year worth of work in 4 weeks. So this requires a huge commitment on your part. So let's talk a little bit about technology. This is another thing. This was the third thing that I sent you actually. The summer school calendar, important dates. So we're right here. This is the back to school night. First day of classes is June 27th. Back to school night, that's happening right now. If you want to drop the class and you need your money back, that is by June 28th. That's this Thursday. We don't have class on July 4th. And notice the withdrawal dates. If you don't want a grade penalty, you need to withdraw by July 9th. It won't show on your transcript. If you get all the way to July 25th and you say, gosh, I gotta drop this, then it will come up as a pass-fail grade, not as it won't not show up on your it will show up, but it'll show up as a withdraw pass or a withdraw fail. So, but at that point, it's still not the same as if you had just continued on and gotten an F and let that go into your transcript. All right, the technology checklist. Students should have done this by now. It was sent to you by the online campus. If you have not, please do that. The requirements are high-speed internet. And please, please, please do not use phones or iPads to come to our daily classes. So I'll remove you from the class because you can't talk, and one of the requirements is to have a headset and to talk. So if you're using those for the course material, only parts of Blackboard will work with those. You're welcome to try it, but when you come to chat, you absolutely cannot use a cell phone or an iPad because it won't allow you to speak. Speaking of which, if you're thinking of products, iPads, iPhones, whatever, we don't support Macs, which does not mean that you can't use them. It just means our IT department can't help you unsnag whatever snags you might get into. So our division runs on PCs, and so Macs are not compatible at times. And if you have a problem, then we would not be able to help you. So just a heads up on that. If you're having technology problems with Blackboard, this is all posted on Blackboard, who to call, who to email, and how to resolve your issues. So let's just talk about the course real quickly. So the expectations are that most of your time in your life this summer is going to be in the course materials, online course materials. It's right here. It's a button on your Blackboard. And that's where all of the teaching is done. By that I mean you're going into course materials, you're opening Unit 1, you're reading through Unit 1, you're doing self-checks in Unit 1, you get all the way to the end, you take the quizzes, you take the tests, and then you move on. So this is really self-taught. The classes that we have during the week are reinforcement classes, and to clarify, but most of your work is on your own because it's an online class. The expectations also is that you would come to chats every day. So the chat button is actually, I can hardly see this. Here it is, the geometry chat. That's the button that you go to in order to come to class every day. It's not optional, so you don't want to miss class during the school year. You can't miss class during the summer. The online textbook is also helpful. There are not assignments written out of there, but if you want to go and get some reinforcement, that's also a good place to go. So these are the expectations. You're going to come to collaborate. You're going to chat, obviously, and collaborate. And then if you need your online textbook, you can do that. Or Math Excel. There's also a way to get to that. All right, 6 to 7.5 hours is what each day amounts to. So I spend about 11 hours online, which is strange but true. But 6 to 7.5 hours in the course material is minimum. You may work longer than that. So think about the workload. We talked about that a second ago. Follow the calendar and the announcements. Everything needs to be finished by midnight the day that it's assigned. If not, it disappears. So please get your work done on time. The pacing on the calendar, it's about 1 to 3 topics a day. If you want to work ahead, let me know. I'm happy to open materials and give you passwords for those. But whatever you do, do not get behind. If it's not done by the deadline, that is a grade you will not have earned. All right. And I've been talking a little bit about chat. It's a really casual term, but it's our class time together. So you wouldn't skip a class at school. You can't skip chat. When you're in the chat room, now I'm recording this out of a chat room, so this is part of what you would see when you're in online chat. Please ask questions. So don't be shy. Ask questions. 80% of the time everybody has the same question as you do, and I know you hear that all the time, but it is actually true. Have paper near you. Keep paper handy. Make sure that you're taking notes. You're going to need to work out problems. I'll be calling on you. You'll be writing on the smartboard. So that's what students get to do during chat. And the Collaborate chat, I pointed that out before. The button is on Blackboard. When you sign in, first and last name, please, because otherwise I don't know who you are. So don't give me a nickname and don't just tell me your first name, because I've had where I have 3 of the same first names in the same class. So please, first and last name. The Collaborate link, so this is what I was talking about before. That's what it looks like. It says Daily Geometry Chat. So every day you'll go in, you'll read these announcements, and then you'll go to the chat. We'll talk a bit. It's about 2 hours long, so be prepared for that. When you get to the chat, once you've hit that button, then you're going to come up to this page, and my chat is here. Miss Tafessa's is down here. You can go to either one. So I recommend that you come to the 9 o'clock because I'm the one that's going to be answering your questions. And so if I'm teaching it a particular way, then you would perhaps understand it a little bit better, but you have an option. It's an online class. And we do take attendance, so we'll know who's in what class. Okay. So Blackboard Collaborate, when you do click that button, this screen will come up. Don't be alarmed. You're going to hit Run. And at the bottom, once this page comes up, at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see this little purple button. If this screen doesn't pop up looking like this, hit the purple button and it will pop up. And be patient because it takes a little bit of time for that to happen. All right, when we're in chat, we split into something called breakout rooms. It's essentially group work where you're randomly put in with other people. Once we've understood what's going on, I've explained things and everybody's had a question to ask, then you get a chance to practice. And I will be popping in and out of breakout rooms, listening to what your conversations are. Again, a mic is not optional. You have to have a mic because you're going to be talking to each other. Otherwise, we'll be there 2.5 hours, and I really don't want that. So we need to get through what we need to get through. Let's see. Interactive checks. Lots of people skip these. They say, I did the course material. I don't need to do the interactive checks. I'm going to move on. And what this does is it gives you practice, and it gives you immediately, it'll show answers so that you can see if you're correct. There's also check answers. Sometimes you just want to check the answer, see if you got it right or wrong. Or you may want it to show you the answers. What was the right way to do it or the wrong way? And then you know to go back because something is not clear to you. Assessments. So once you're done with all the course materials, you've got quizzes and tests. Quizzes are timed 40 minutes. Tests are timed for 90 minutes. So please don't open something else and do something else and think it'll still be open. It'll just shut you right out. Passwords will be posted, and you'll see how that goes. And again, daily deadlines are deadly serious. All right. For assessment, just like in school, you can't use notes or your textbook or ask somebody else next to you. Please do not stop. Once you start, the clock is ticking. So once you hit that button, you've got 40 minutes or 90 minutes to complete things. Don't minimize and do something else. Don't use any form of electronic communication. So definitely record your work and answers on paper. Sometimes we'll have a power outage or something, and if you don't record your work and answers, you're taking the whole thing over again. So you do not want that to happen. If something weird happens, please take a screenshot of whatever weird thing it is and email it to me, and we will talk, because there's a limit on how many unusual things are allowed to happen to you. And that's why we have you do the technology checklist at the beginning to make sure your technology is all working. All right, we've got 3 face-to-face exams. There's the midterm, the final exam, and the SOL. Everything is at Hayfield Secondary. You must have a picture ID. We need to verify you are who you are and not somebody else taking the course for you. So to break it down a little bit, midterm exam, it's on the first half of the class. It's paper and pencil. It's in person, about 65 questions. We think it's going to be at 5 p.m. on the 11th, but we're not sure. We're waiting for confirmation for that time, so I'll let you know that. Similarly, the final exam, same idea, except it's the entire course. It's not just the last half of the course. That's on July 25th and probably 5 p.m. We will see. We'll let you know. It's at Hayfield High School. And then we've got the SOL. Now the SOL is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If that changes, I will let you know, but historically it's always been at 3. Please get there by 2:30 so that we're not waiting for everybody to start. You don't want to be there all night because you do have as much time as you need, but you don't want to be there until 10. So again, Hayfield Secondary, that's where everything is happening. Grading policies. Now grades are determined by what you're doing online, which is 60% of your grade, and what you're doing in your final exams. Notice how close those are. 60%, most of your grade is the tests and quizzes, but 40% of your grade, 2/3 of your grade, is the midterm and the final. And we do that because we don't know what you're doing online. I can't guarantee that you're not talking to somebody or whatever. So we need to make sure you really know the material, and that's going to be borne out by your midterm and final exams. When I send out the SIS grades, that's the one you want to pay attention to. These grades, this is from Blackboard. You're welcome to look at those. It'll show you the progress I'm doing in actually grading things, but the SIS grade is what you want to rely upon. When we get to the final exam, if you, for example, are getting A's in everything that you're doing online, but you get a C, or if you're usually getting A's and you get a D, or there's a 2-grade discrepancy, then we proctor the rest of your tests. So if you have resets, if there's something that continues to go wrong, then you only get 3 of them, and then we have to have you come down to the online campus and actually do it with us. All right, communication. When you're in chat, please realize they are recorded and archived. They are there forever and ever. So no inappropriate language, use good manners, don't just blurt things out, just like you would in class. If I call on you and you don't answer and don't answer and don't answer, you wind up being removed from the class and you have to go to the next class, because I need to make sure that everybody is there and participating. So don't log in and then go, play baseball and come back. You're going to be working together. So if you are chatting to other people, I can see it. So you don't want to have side chats, because I can see what you're saying and I will respond to you. All right, we will be using remind.com. This code, if you have a smartphone, you can text to 81010, this code. So I can't read it very well. AAAD87, I believe it is. You just text at that code and it will give you an opportunity to sign up in the class. We'll also be doing this on the first day of class together so that everybody is getting the announcements. That's how you're going to hear particular announcements from me in addition to the Blackboard announcements. So if there's something I need to remind you of, I send out a remind text, and it's something to which you can respond. Nobody has anybody's phone number. Everything is without identifying information, which is fantastic because I can talk to you, you can talk to me, and nobody's private information is compromised. So, quick summary. Please check your email many times a day. I do. Please do so also. Log into Blackboard daily. Read the announcements, check the calendar, check especially your SIS grade. Do everything in the course materials, including the self-checks, and then your assessments, tests, and quizzes need to be done on time or they close out. And then, of course, come to collaborate. And remember, always ask for help. This is brand new to you, right? Most people haven't done online courses, or if they have, it may not work like this one. So please ask for help. You know, if we need to get together during the day and it would be a good idea for me to talk specifically to you, I'll open up the classroom and we can do it. If you want to use your textbooks online practice, there's nothing assigned, like I said, from that. But if you want to use it, that's a nice thing to do. And whatever you do, don't panic. You know, you're not alone. This is something that we've all gone through. At least one online class I certainly have. And everything works a little bit differently. So give me a ring, give me a remind text, and that's it. I said I would keep this quick, and I hope I did. I am looking forward to a productive summer, a successful summer, and I will see you online. Let me know if you've got any questions. My email address and everything is in the texts, the emails that I sent you. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.